Have you ever stopped and wondered, what exactly am I? Hello friends, self-me, Sunil Sharma, and life is the same in all of us. Welcome. Have you ever stopped and wondered, what exactly am I? Not your name, not your job, not even your personality, but what is actually here right now, making all of this possible. Chetasyog offers a beautiful, simple answer to that question. It says that every living being, from the tiniest single cell all the way to you and me, is a three-layered system. The three layers, each one distinct, each one necessary, and all the three must be working together for life to be possible. Let's explore each layer one by one. The first layer is the one we all know best. It is the physical body, the biological hardware. Chetasyog tells us that this body is built from 5 elements of nature. Earth, the solid part, your bone, your tissues, your muscles, the framework that gives you your body its form. Water, the fluids, blood moving through your veins, lymph, every fluid inside every cell, the medium through which life circulates. Fire, the metabolism, the heat that keeps you warm, the digestion that converts food into energy, the transformative force that keeps everything functioning. Air, the breath, the constant rhythmic exchange of oxygen that connects your inner world to the world outside. And finally, ether, space, the invisible inner space within which all of these bodily processes take place. 5 elements working together right now in this body you call yours. Just like machine needs its physical components to work in the world, this body is the platform. Without it, there is simply no place for life to express itself. But here is the thing, body alone is not enough. We need a second layer. Inside this biological hardware, a remarkable system operates. Chetasyog calls this the software, the brain and the mind. The brain is a biological processor. The mind is the psychological interface. Together, they run everything we called our inner life. Your thoughts, that constant stream of mental activities from the moment you wake up to the moment you fall asleep. Your emotions, the felt response that colors every experience. Your memory, the ability to store the past and bring it forward. Your imagination, the power to picture what does not yet exist. Your ability to make decisions, to reason, to choose. And your identity, that deep, continuous sense of being I. This is the layer that makes you feel like the layer that creates the experience of a unique, continuous self. And yet, even this extraordinary system cannot be run on its own. Think of this way. You can have a perfectly built computer, excellent hardware, sophisticated software. But if we don't plug it in, nothing happens. It needs electricity. And so do we. The third layer, the most fundamental layer, is what Chetasyog calls life is. In Hindi, Jeevan hai. Life is the impersonal, cosmic awareness that animates the living system. Now this is important to understand. Life is not something the body produces. It is not something the brain generates. It expresses through the body. It operates through brain, but it's not created by them. Without life the body becomes just the matter. The brain goes quiet, the mind dissolves, the identity that feels so real collapses. That is why that changes everything in an instant. Nothing physically disappeared. The hardware is still there, the electricity is gone, and so the light goes out. With life is present, though the body becomes a living vehicle, the brain perceives and processes, the mind experiences and creates, and the self-me comes alive. Life is not personal. It belongs to no one. It flows through everything that lives, through you, through me, through every creature on this earth. It's universal, impersonal, and yet without it, nothing would be possible. So here is what happens. When life is expresses through a particular body and mind, something new appears. Chetasyog calls it self-me. In Hindi, स्वयं में. Self-me is the individual experience of life is moving through this specific organism. It includes your personality, your sense of who you are, your social role, your memories, your preferences, your beliefs. All of this is self-me, and self-me is real. It's not an illusion. It's not something to be dismissed. And this is the key insight. These things belong to self. They are not life is itself. Life remains universal, impersonal, untouched. Self-me is personal, temporary expression. And here is where the fundamental confusion of human life begins. Most of us, most of the time, believe I am the body, I am the mind, this is personality, these thoughts, this identity, that is what I am fully, completely. But Chetasyog invites us to look more carefully, because if self-me is only a temporary experience, if life is the primary reality, then over-identifying with self-me creates problem. When we forget the deeper layer and cling only to the surface layer, what happens? Comparison begins. We measure ourselves against others and suffer. Competition replaces cooperation. Fear takes the root, because if I am only limited self, then everything feels like a treat. Attachments become painful because things change and we resist the change, and the ego clashes. Because if my identity is everything, then any challenge to it feel like an attack. Chetasyog called this state mess, mental, emotional, stressful symptoms, the inner noise that most humans carry quietly every day. Interestingly, other animals also have these same three layers: a body, an instinctive mind, and life is flowing through them. But animals do not build the same kind of complex psychological identity that we do. In a sense, they remain closer to life is. They live more immediately, more presently. We humans, though we build elaborate inner world, rich identities, deep histories, and that is uniquely remarkable. That it is our great strength, but it's also when we forget life is our great difficulty. So let's bring this all together. Body, the hardware, brain and mind, the software. Life is the electricity, and all three together, and you get a living, experiencing self-me. Remove life is, and the system collapses. This is the central insight of Chetasyog. Life is not produced by self. Self-me is the expression of life is. And Chetasyog is not asking you to reject yourself, to abandon your personality, your identity, your mind. The instrument is necessary. The software is needed. The body is precious. But Chetasyog is inviting you to remember the electricity. Because when self-me forgets, life is, confusion arises. This is what Chetasyog calls mess. But when self-me becomes aware of life is, something shifts. A quiet harmony appears. A sense of ease that doesn't depend on circumstances. Chetasyog calls this state a meal, mental, emotional awareness living. And the deepest form of this harmony, the synergy between self-me and life is what Chetasyog points to as whole oneself well-being. The bulb is not the light. Light needs electricity to exist, and we, each of us, are the light.